Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Joel here with as many reviews as possible, and today we're doing the review of the Reebok CrossFit Speed TRs. Originally in the unboxing video I had a different colorway, and as it turns out the Speed TRs run half a size big, so make sure when you purchase them, take your nano size and go down half a size for the Speed TRs. This is the Team America colorway from the CrossFit Invitational. These were the actual shoes for the CrossFit Invitational, and I did not know that until after they came out. But I do think these are just as capable as the Nanos, and even better in certain areas. First off, it is just about as good a stable platform for lifting as Nanos are. I'm not going to say that it's as good as Nanos, but I'm going to say 90% as good as Nanos. For your Olympic lifts, your power lifts, squatting, I squatted up to 93% in these, 375 pounds, and they're fine. I didn't really notice too much loss of power. They do have a little bit more cushioning than your normal Nanos, but that does not make them a comfortable or really cushioned shoe. They just have a little bit more in the midsole. The insole is actually the same insole that was on the Nano Pump Fusion. It's kind of more of a spongy insole. So the biggest departure from the Nano series shoes is probably the upper. On the Nanos you have the Kevlar. On the Speed TRs you have this new mono mesh upper with this overlay on top of it. It still seems to be pretty durable. I actually put this shoe through 10 rope climbs today, and there's not really anything besides a little bit of like markings and dirt, but otherwise it still held up pretty well. Actually better than the Nano, because the Nano started fraying almost immediately when I did rope climbs in them. So the outsole of the shoe is probably one of the best features on the Reebok CrossFit Speed TRs. It's a multi-directional outsole. You can see the treading goes one way here, another way here. The Rope Pro is still there, and it's just kind of right here. You got this propulsion plate right in the middle, in the midfoot, the midfoot shank. And it really provides very good traction, almost too much. So if you were to do a box jump and you kind of caught the lip of a box jump with the rear, you might send that box moving up, forward a little bit. So make sure that you pull up your knees when you do box jumps. I only ran into that problem when I got tired, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Now, the Rope Pro is probably the worst part about this shoe. When I was doing rope climbs, I would say only about 50% of the time I could get a really good grip on that rope, just because it's so small. So you really need to make sure that your footing is correct before you start climbing that rope.
This sucks for rope climbing, dude.
So from a look standpoint, I think that these Speed TRs look way better than the Nano 5.0s. There's not that crazy, gaudy graphic overlay. It's just a more basic gradient. You can kind of see the underlay mesh through the top here. Let's see if I can show you here. That's what it looks like under. It's very well ventilated. My feet never really get too hot in these shoes. They're very comfortable to wear for extended periods of time. So going back to the outsole, one thing that the Speed TRs have to make it more of a stable lifting platform is that the outsole flares out so that the shoe upper can still be narrow, but you'll still have a wide base to lift on. And I really like that feature of the Speed TRs. They say that the midfoot on the Speed TRs has this ultra soft cushioning, and I'm going to say that's the overstatement of the year, because these shoes are still very rigid shoes. They are still training shoes. They are more livable to walk around in and coach in and even run in, but they are still, at the very end of it all, a training shoe. They are very much so a CrossFit shoe, and in that regards, I actually like them better than the Nano 5.0s, just because I can wear them day to day and they don't get too uncomfortable. I can pretty much do any workout that I want to do in these shoes without having to think of changing my shoes. And that, to me, means a lot. So going back to this TPU heel clip that they call a kipping clip, it actually does help on the Speed TRs. It's a very low profile clip, and the problem is that when you do kipping or handstand push-ups, your feet come away from the wall and then they kick up on the wall. They don't really drag that much. If you were to do strict handstand push-ups, then it would help you out. But for kipping handstand push-ups, I didn't notice that much of a difference, but I did notice a difference. More so than the Nike Metcon 2s. So if you were looking into purchasing the Reebok CrossFit Speed TRs, I would say that I highly recommend them. I think they are an overall great training shoe, in a lot of ways, for me, better than the Nano 5.0, just because they're a little bit more comfortable, they're better to run in, they're a little bit more responsive overall. If I needed to just squat, then I'd probably take my Nano 5.0s. But for most Metcons, the Speed TRs are going to be the shoe that you're going to want to grab and go with. That being said, for $100, you can't go wrong. If they're good enough for Rich Froning, they're definitely good enough for you. The review is up on the blog, joelxfit.wordpress.com. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And as always guys, thanks for watching.